I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down.
So he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Herman say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Herman says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber!
Water! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man.
Are you kidding me?
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? It's another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, podcast from iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. We're having some technical issues, and it seems like that is becoming apparent. So if it seems like it's glitching for you guys, let us know, because it's telling me that it's glitching on our end. So we might have to end the show really fast and start it up again in about 30 minutes, because it seems like it's giving us a lot of issues right here all of a sudden. Sorry. I know. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to try one more time. Well, Santiago saying there's no issues on Blog Talk. Well, that's because it's a totally different computer, Santi. So it doesn't. Of course, that's not giving us issues. The computer that's streaming is not the same Blog Talk computer. So we're going to try it again here and let you guys see us. It's giving us massive issues. Yeah. We're going to probably have to end this show really fast and either come right back, or we're just going to stop the stream and be right back here in the stream in about 5 minutes. Sorry. Apologies, but I'm going to have to fix the system really fast.
Hit that thumbs up, share the show.
Hit that thumbs up. Be back in about 5 minutes, guys. Deep apologies.
I'll quickly watch the
Stay here, though.
back.
Stay here. Stay in this link. It'll say it's buffering. Don't worry. We'll be back. Just stay here. It's okay. Okay, I think we're back now, guys. I think we're back. It's still kind of... see, it just jumped up again. So let us know in the chat. It says it's working fine right now, but if we start glitching out big time, let us know. Because sometimes the system is telling me it is and it's not. I need to know. Sorry about that. But I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. We're going to be talking about Triple G, Derevyanchenko, obviously on DAZN. It was a... Hold on, we're not receiving any data. Hold on. Let me see. Are we back? Guys, let me know if we're back, because right now YouTube is telling me we're not back. I think we're back now. Hold on. Chat, let me know if we're back. This has been a great show, by the way, Rob. Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, you totally took all the hype.
I'm sorry, man.
Out of the weekend.
I'm sorry. Guys, let me know in the chat. I know, Santa, you're fine. Doesn't matter. Show is live. Thank you. Okay, we're good. Triple G versus Derevyanchenko.
Haymon's world. He's just guessing that and trolling.
Yeah, we can't trust him, right? We have to trust anyone else.
Yeah.
Anyways, Triple G Derevyanchenko went down this weekend. This is Mixed Comment Radio. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter, and this is Robbie Hearns. Rough start for the show, and again, system is telling me it's slow as hell. So if we're slow and glitchy today, apologies. But we're gonna be talking Triple G Derevyanchenko and everything in the boxing world, because there's a lot of topics, Rob, we need to get to. Unfortunately, because we were gone for a couple of days, and so let's just get started. Because again, we're rushed on time. We started late because of the technical issues. That was funny, BK. Rob's cam looks a bit wrinkly. Nope. Nope, it's just Rob.
You cheeky.
Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Let's get to
Show us your avatar.
the main event and the marquee fight of the weekend, Triple G Derevyanchenko. Now, Rob, how do you want to tackle this fight? From what angle first? You want to like get our scorecards and compare them and go down that angle of like who?
Well, just talk about the fight and how you had it.
I mean, obviously, I scored for Derevyanchenko. Check out the live reaction video, and I mean, I went back and scored it again, to be honest, and I gave a couple 10-10 rounds. I had a kind of a weird scorecard, about a 116, 113 for Derevyanchenko. And I'll be honest, even with that weird scorecard where I have Derevyanchenko winning by 3 points, I can see the very loose argument for a Triple G win, right? But I can't give him a W in this at all. Like, I struggle to give him even the toss-up rounds, mainly due to Triple G's real skill, or skills, I should say, is his accuracy combined with his combinations. Because he can throw a 3 and 4 piece combination and all the shots can be landing accurate, clean, efficient, right? But the combination work from Triple G was largely gone in this fight. And in that absence, Derevyanchenko came in with an intensity that I don't think anyone was truly expecting, especially after the first round knockdown. And, I mean, after the second round, I gave the first 2 rounds to Triple G. It was a Derevyanchenko fight, honestly, up until the championship rounds. And even then, like, the 12th round was close. So that was a back and forth round. I scored it for, that was a 10-10 round. But that could easily be a Triple G round. And it's one of those where Triple G just wasn't doing enough. Even in the rounds where you can give him the 12th, the 9th, maybe the 6th or 7th, and obviously the second round, I think it's a clear Triple G round. It was evident that he wasn't on point, that he wasn't throwing combinations. He wasn't walking Derevyanchenko down like he's accustomed to. And on the back foot, he really had no answer for Derevyanchenko. He wasn't able to counter Derevyanchenko's entrances at all when Derevyanchenko would sort of blitz in and turn him. He had no answer to that. And the narrative of this is now obvious that Triple G is an old fighter. That maybe there was fights in the past where we can go, oh, that looked off for Triple G, right? This is now the fight, the definitive fight we can look at and go, this Triple G is different. And it's an older version, clearly. The athleticism is gone. The speed is gone. The reflexes are gone. And those are all massive indicators of a fighter being old. Rob, your scorecard and sort of your thoughts on the fight, obviously.
Well, I've watched it twice now. I've scored it twice. I had it Triple G by 1 round, and then I think I just redid it and had I think the same as 2 of the judges, 115, 113 to Triple G. For me, and I'm not taking anything away from Derevyanchenko. He was brilliant, but I just felt a lot of his, like you say, his intensity and everything. I don't think a lot of it was that clean. I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think while he was his body work was great. He hurt Triple G to the body a few times. Now, look, I'm just going to say this. I agree with PED in the chat that Triple G looks ill, and Eddie Hearn has come out and said that he was ill, but I don't want to hear that after a fight, to be honest, because it just...
That's not for you, by the way. That's just gunshots at the narrative and that talking point. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that after a fight, because that's a promoter saying it, and it may well be the case, but it's like an excuse, and I don't. And you're not going to hear. If you're going to hear it, let me hear it before the fight. But you're not going to get that. You're not going to hear that a fight is ill before a fight.
And on top of that, it's super disrespectful of Derevyanchenko, who had a career best performance.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, like I say, don't want to take anything from Derevyanchenko, but I just felt a lot of his work wasn't that clean. It wasn't that. It was, I guess, effective, but because it got Triple G going backwards, but I felt a lot of it was landing on gloves and arms, and I just felt the cleaner, like the I don't know, the more telling shots seemed to land on
What was
Derevyanchenko for me.
What was your scorecard again?
I think when I watched it the first time, I had Triple G winning by a round, and then 115, 113 when I've watched it back. Don't get me wrong, a lot of close rounds where maybe some of the early work was forgotten because of some of that old thing of near the end of a round.
Do you have your scorecard in front of you by chance?
I don't know. It was just watching it, and then I was texting you a little bit of it, and then I got more into the fight and wasn't actually telling you.
I sort of wanted to, because I watched it a few times right before the show, because I wanted to sort of isolate some rounds. So if anyone wants to call in and go in depth on certain rounds, we can. I remember them. I took some notes. Because there are some swing rounds we can talk about, and we can have that discussion. And like I've said before, like scoring in boxing is, and just combat sports overall, because the 10-9 system is universal in combat sports, is a scoring criteria system that is woefully inadequate.
It's flawed. It's just how can a fighter stand in the ring, or people talking about a fight saying, well, some judges like come forward fighters, others like back foot fighters. That's nonsense. It shouldn't be which type of fighters a judge is looking for. You're supposed.
But that's not how it is. That's not how it is. I think for fans, that's how it is. For judges, it's not.
No, I don't know.
Well, it just in terms of how they are supposed to judge a fight, that's not in the scoring system.
Oh no! I'm saying, but that's how it seems. Like judges seem to favor certain styles, or
well, we don't know that. I mean, when's the last judge that you sort of looked at all of their scorecards and looked at if there was a trend in how they judged?
I can't think off the top of my head, but I have looked back and I don't know. There are a few.
You know what I mean? Like it's easier for fans and media to see, or like let's say Harold Letterman, or like for unofficial judges, because we see their names all the time. Carl Froch, Steve Fauhood, those characters we see all the time because we see their name. We see on every telecast, every fight. That's a little bit different. So we can sort of infer maybe a bias of style. Letterman liked guys going forward, for example, right? That's the most obvious example of this. But as far as I know, we don't have judges, specific, actual, real judges, that's their job. That's not what they do. And I want to always frame the conversation in that way because the scoring criteria and the system itself is the issue. It's not just that. Because obviously you have fans that like outside fighters, like me. You have fans that like inside guys. You have fans that like brawlers. You have fans that like slick fighters. You have fans that like guys that go to the body a lot. You have the wide range of biases when it comes to fans and people that just watch it. But judges, there is a set system for how they're supposed to judge a fight. And even within that system, there's issues. I think that's a key point that we need to make. But sort of digressing, circling back to Triple G Derevyanchenko, in terms of him not being clean or efficient, I think that's just inaccurate. Triple G, well, let me just sort of take it back. When you throw a punch, you are intending it to do a couple basic things. One, either to hit your opponent, right, to like hit him and damage your opponent, or B, to cause a reaction to then throw another punch that would hit your opponent, right? So when you throw combinations, you will often throw punches within that combinations that aren't supposed to land purely to set up other shots to land. You know what I mean? So when Derevyanchenko is throwing 4s and 5s and 6-punch combinations, and let's say half of them aren't landing, that's almost to be expected. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, if the opponent that's receiving that volume isn't really firing back enough, and firing back only in single shots maybe, or on top of that just shelling up. Triple G was not boxing off his back foot. The only time he was ever really firing his shots was when he was going forward. Like it was clear at times like Derevyanchenko would move forward and he would win, and then he would stop, move backwards, and then Triple G would start winning the round. Right? There was never a time where both guys could really fight on the back foot, countering the other's combination. That really didn't work that well for either guy. Whoever was going backwards was losing, clear as day, in any point in the fight. Triple G was going backwards throughout the fight. And on top of that, he wasn't throwing back. He was shelling up. He was taking shots to the body all night. And not only shots to the body, combinations to the body. You know, I struggle to give Triple G 6 rounds to then give him the 114, 113 scorecard, right? With the knockdown. I struggled for that. It would have to give him the benefit of doubt. Even like the 10-10 rounds I gave. If I give Triple G every one of my 10-10 rounds, he still loses on my scorecard. I would then have to go into other rounds where I think Derevyanchenko won to give Triple G the decision. It's just hard for me to see Triple G winning this fight or being the clear deserving winner here. I'm not saying it's robbery, because look, clearly there is a non-consensus out there. Like, look at our chat, look at our polls, look at online. Clearly there isn't a, hey, we're all in agreement here, guys. Yep, okay, we're moving on to the next weekend. That's not here. Like, clearly there's a debate going on, that there is a 60-40, depending where you look at, differential on who thinks Derevyanchenko won, who thinks Triple G won, and on top of that, who thinks maybe even it's deserving of being called a robbery or not, right? Because there's people that may think that Derevyanchenko won, but it's not a robbery. You know,
there's
so
plenty of those. There's plenty the other way as well. Yeah,
it's just I am, like I've said, like I said it last night. When we call a fight a robbery, it's hard for just one individual person to say that. It has to be a consensus. And right now, I don't see that consensus right now.
Yeah.
But in my personal opinion, there's no way you give Triple G the decision. I don't see it.
Look, for me, this is
bad decision at the very least.
This is Spence Porter all over again. The knockdown was kind of the difference, and I can see Derevyanchenko winning it, like I could see Porter winning it, and I can see Triple G winning it, like I can see Spence winning it, and I can see a draw across both fights. I think we can agree both weekends have been potential fight of the year candidates.
I don't like the Spence Porter comparison, but I'll let you continue because I won't.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
You just had the mic for like 5 minutes, so that's good of you. But you know, I'm not coming at you for your opinion because, like I say, for me, it's tight, and maybe.
So I'm coming at you with your opinion.
Well, don't expect a bite because I can't be bothered.
Damn it.
But no, I get people's opinion that they think Derevyanchenko, because like I say, I think it's a super close fight. I just happen to think the better and cleaner work was done by Triple G more than it was Derevyanchenko. Don't get me wrong, it was strange to see Triple G sort of going backwards quite a lot and getting hurt to the body quite a lot. And I don't know, it's this mystery illness the reason, or is he's just got old? I think the second Canelo fight is really, I don't know. I think time's really catching up with him now, and
it's clear. Like, even if you think Triple G won the fight, that narrative should be the consensus.
Yeah, and again, that's not to take away from Derevyanchenko because he stood and traded with the monster, right? When Derevyanchenko took a big shot, he was back, letting his hands go, and in the pocket with Triple G, and I don't think people expected that. Clearly, Madison Square Garden felt Derevyanchenko won, or they preferred or enjoyed his performance more than Triple G's. For me, it was very disrespectful the second it got put onto Triple G. Their anger shouldn't be, or their displeasure shouldn't be aimed at the fighter in this situation. He just was in there a 12-round fight, and
well, they can't boo the judges.
I know, but I'm just saying I don't think that's right considering what Triple G's been in this division and the spot. I'm just not really a fan of that. The guy was just about to address people, and if he said the things that he said, I don't think it was deserving of, if they just shut up and listened. He said it was a bad night for me and a good night for Derevyanchenko and things like that. So I don't know. I don't like that sort of thing. It's not very British anyway. We only boo when Eddie Hearn steps up.
Okay. I don't know, man. I see some more regional shows. There's definitely a lot of booing. See a lot more Frank Warren shows, for example.
Well, all right.
I mean, did you say it's not British? I mean, come on. I've definitely been at shows where there have been, not at shows. I've seen shows where there have been brawls and people throwing stuff in the ring at British boxing shows. Like, come on. Like,
No, that's British.
but that's booing and shit. That's the same thing.
That's not fighting in the crowd and booing.
No. You didn't hear me. I said fighting the crowd, throwing stuff in the ring, booing. Like, I definitely have seen that. Like, that's to act like that's not a British thing is just weird. Some nationalistic weird thing to say. It is. People boo.
No. All right,
Rob. Like, that's just weird to say.
No, you're being weird.
No, I'm really not.
Like, the East Coast MSG is known.
Dude. Think about it.
Right.
You're saying
anyway,
we Brits, we don't boo. Like, that's weird.
Oh, all right, mate.
That's
You've taken it completely like that then. All right. This is fun, isn't it? Brilliant.
Dude, what's your issue, man? Like, honestly, like
you've just taken this and run with it. I'm just saying, isn't it like, oh, the British, they queue up and the British, you've taken it completely to 100%. Oh, anyway, what's next?
Dude, like, if you can't handle me coming back at you with a different opinion, then I don't know what's the deal. Like, every time I disagree with you, you get upset.
Well, that's not true.
I mean, Rob, a lot of the times when we disagree and I go, I don't agree with you, you're like, oh, okay.
No, I said I'm not here to argue with you about your score.
Well, Rob, this is a debate show. We're here to argue stuff.
No, but I said I don't have an argument for people who picked Derevyanchenko. What are you talking about?
Well, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the weird, like, nationalistic thing of saying, like, Brits don't boo. Just that was the weird statement you said. That's all.
All right, I think it's weird that you disagree with it.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Israel Madrimov defeated Alejandro Barrera. I mean, I'll be honest. This entire undercard was one-sided matchups through and through. You know, like, there's good names. Like, Madrimov's a good name. Akhmedov's a good name. Baranchik's a good name. Even like Nikita Bobby, that's a decent prospect, right? But none of these fights were appealing. None of these fights were really competitive. Everyone seemed to win pretty much by TKO, KO relatively early, right? Like, I mean, I don't think the latest undercard, I mean, in terms of, like, how far it went, was the Madrimov fight, which went 5 rounds. So, not much to say on any of these fights, to be honest, other than all these prospects kind of look good, but they were kind of made to look good.
I wasn't as impressed with Madrimov as I wanted to be. I felt he's a bit, I don't know, I felt he was jumping in a little bit. But look, he stopped a guy that only Spence has stopped. So, you know, it's, I guess, a little feather in his cap. But yeah, I was looking for a little bit more from Madrimov in this one. But he got the job done, like you say. But, yeah, a lot of cards I felt this year have been, it's been like a main event and you've been sort of hyped for the main event, and the rest of it's been, no, not every card, but there's been a lot of like top ranked cards where you just go, right, all A sides. You know, I don't know, just feel that seems to be the thing now, that fighters are maybe getting a lot top end of the like the main event, and the co-main are getting decent money, and then the rest is, we'll get some names on here, but they're going to be in,
and it's like names. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, or they're little starlets, or they're little, you know, they're youngsters, or whatever like that. So it's kind of how it's been. But yeah, Ababi got first round knockout as sort of a nice little name on his early record. Akhmedov.
I don't know about name on his record. I mean, just another person.
Okay.
Well, I mean, who's Isaiah Selden?
Ask Gary. He's very proud of that. He's obviously a tough Texan.
Who was the other guy that Gary was hyped on that got knocked out like 2 weeks ago?
Daniel Lusanov knocked him out, right?
Yeah, thank you for remembering who knocked him out, because I don't remember who knocked him out.
I'm not going to remember the knockoutee. But no, yeah, I guess this was all about the main event, really.
Well, plus the money. I mean, let's be honest. $7.5 million in guaranteed purse for Triple G. On top of that, a $7.5 million equity amount for this fight, which I don't even know like how that works out exactly. But he's getting paid $15 million overall for this fight. And then Derevyanchenko was, I forget the exact number, I don't have it up,
over 5 he was taking in.
Yeah, but I think the guarantee was 4, but they said he would get over 5.
Something like that.
That's insane. Like,
this is off the back of the Canelo negotiations.
Again, think about this in comparison. A Wilder Ortiz fight, the first fight, right? Ortiz got paid, what, $500,000 as the B side?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Derevyanchenko Ortiz are probably maybe around the same place in the rankings, roughly. You know what I mean? But one gets paid $4 million, $5 million.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the guarantees at DAZN right now are insane. I'm wondering when this whole Joe Murkowski talking point of, hey, purses are going to be dropped down is going to take effect. I'm thinking probably next year. But
I don't know. You'll probably have to ask people like Hooker and
the people that won't get paid.
No, that's just my feeling that like
Jesse
it's
Vargas.
about who's driving, subscriptions and views and shit like that. So
I wonder.
I don't know if Hooker's that guy or people like that. I'm not just singling out Hooker. I'm just saying
no. I know, but
that's maybe
Hooker's definitely that tier where it's like, what are you?
Well,
like
he's not a champion anymore either, right? So
yes. But even like Triple G, like I think it's clear as day that you're overpaying for him if you're DAZN. Like $15 million off the top.
You're overpaying him.
What do you mean? Yeah, DAZN. I'm talking to DAZN right now.
Yeah, I know. It's just you're talking to me, and it was like,
oh no, I'm not. No,
that whole.
I just don't know how. Like, for example, like they're losing money on Canelo. We know that, like the guarantees, the way that they're making money back. There's no way they're making money off Canelo events. However, he's a loss leader. You're probably getting subscribers off of him. You're probably getting a good retention number off of him, right? While Triple G, I don't know if he's that guy anymore. And I don't think he's been that guy since the second Canelo fight, to be honest. Or I'll be honest, he might just not be that guy without a Canelo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put Triple G even against guys like an Andrade on DAZN, or even a cross-promotional like Jamal Charlo fight on Fox, or Billy Joe Saunders. Like, do any of those really move the needle in the way they may have 5 years ago or 4 years ago? No. I think that answer is pretty clear. And I don't know if DAZN's right now looking at this and going, what are we doing? Like, if we don't get this Canelo fight with Triple G, it's a complete waste of money. And we have to pay him for what, another 3 or 2 fights? How many more fights on the contract? I think it's 3. Rob, do you know how many more fights on?
Left for Triple G?
Yes. I think it's 3 because he had a 5-fight deal.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, or was it 6? Might have been 6.
Math is hard. Digressing. I don't know how you can pay this money for another 3 fights of this for Triple G because A, I don't think he's going to win all 3 of those fights. And I don't think you make your money back in any shape or form.
Yeah, it's a 6-fight deal.
Like, if they make Triple G Andrade next, are any of us picking Triple G to win that fight? Like, are you, Rob?
Probably not, no. Against Andrade? Do you see Andrade got in? He said, I'll fight Triple G, I'll fight Derevyanchenko. Both of them like, give it a rest, mate. It's like, I've just been in war. Yeah, we'll talk later. Fucking hell.
I think Andrade really beats up an old Triple G. Like the athletic difference that Derevyanchenko had versus Triple G is insane. And Derevyanchenko, I wouldn't say, is a notoriously great athlete. He has fast hand speed, but he's not really a good mover. Doesn't have the greatest cardio, but he looked like a fucking Energizer bunny in there against Triple G.
That cut,
the cut was bad. But beside the cut, I mean, he was doing a great job.
Shout out to the cut, man. You know,
honestly,
just so people aware,
it didn't bleed that much either.
No, but they got it under control pretty good, but that was bad. But there is, going back to the whole when Wilder got that check out from the doctor, that is a new kind of ruling that they've brought in over on the New York Commission.
No, that's been there for a while.
Yeah. Well, since that, they made a whole bunch of stuff since that guy.
But that's not new. That's been like 5-6 years ago now. I want to say, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, thinking about it, like that's before I came into the sport. I want to say, like, before I started working. I want to say that story happened.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
That was around the time right when I jumped in.
But since all that poorly saying this is wrong, the doctors are checking out Wilder.
Oh yeah, that's so stupid.
So I'm just saying people weren't aware.
Yeah, I can't believe people still aren't aware of that. I think it's a great deal or rule that New York has to make sure and double and triple check these guys are fine and healthy to go and get more beat up. Digressing from that point, though, what do you think is next for Triple G? Do you think it's Andrade? Do you think it's Canelo and May? Like, who do you think is the next guy for Gennadievich Golovkin?
I don't know. I don't know that 160 is. I don't know if it'll be at 160 anymore. But
no, hold on. I know you've wanted the Callum Smith fight for a long time for Triple G.
Not now. Well, no. I do.
Like, Callum Smith would really hurt him. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah. By the way, Billy Joe Saunders was actually very nice about Triple G in a tweet, and I even put
he wasn't serious. That must have been a troll.
No, and I put but ... and then Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction going, "Go on," say it again, motherfucker. Say what? No, but I'm like, is he being nice because he's trying to get?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right way, but personally, I'd like to see a rematch
for Triple G.
I'd like to see a rematch with Derevyanchenko, but personally,
there's no way they do it though.
Well, I don't know. I don't think Triple G would be like no to everybody. I think I don't know. I think he'd take the fight again.
Not next. There's.
Oh, maybe not next. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Immediate. That's what I'm talking about. The next fight is who's the next guy? Who's the fight in February, March, April, May,
or May?
It's not going to be.
I think we can all say it's not Canelo. So
yeah, I feel like we can all say that. That's for sure. And honestly, at this point in time, we may not need it. Like there was a time when, especially me, I was here going, look, the first fight's a draw. You saw people out there who are crazy and are high off of meth, thinking that Triple G won the second fight. And a trilogy fight at one point in time made absolute sense. If you think it didn't, you were just a hater for some reason. You either hated Triple G, you hated Canelo. There was some bias there for the reason why you didn't want that matchup. But now, I almost just want this might sound weird. I kind of just want Triple G to retire. Like, I know there's a real material value to these type of guys, these veterans in the sport, fighting that younger generation and that younger generation getting a name off of him. There's value to that. It happens all the time. It happens to every generation, right?
Yeah, they'll pass him the torch.
Absolutely. So, like, Andrade, Charlo, Billy Joe Saunders fight, all those for Triple G have a real material net positive for the sport, obviously. But I think that all happened at the result of Triple G losing. And the way it's going, I think that loss is going to be pretty vicious. Because it doesn't have the head movement or the speed or the reflexes to really get out of these shots. And if a guy like Derevyanchenko is landing combinations on you, imagine what these other guys can do. Even guys that aren't hitters, but they're more accurate, they're far more technical, far better athletes than Derevyanchenko. It's going to be a rough next couple years for Triple G. And that might just be rough to see because Triple G seems like a nice guy. Like, I've interacted with him quite a bit, always seemed like a very nice, pleasant individual. And to see him get, put out on a shield for the sake of the sport is sad. And that's for any veteran. Like, Roy Jones Jr. doing that for time and time again was depressing as hell. B-Hop was depressing as hell. Like, certain guys, like, I just don't want to see that anymore. Like, I don't have it in me. I don't want to see it. It's not what I value. It's not what I pay and consume out of the sport. I like to see high, elite level, prime level boxing. Old guys getting beat up for the sake of it, not really my cup of tea, to be quite.
Is that why you applied for KSI Logan Paul?
I'm hoping that Billy Joe Saunders and Devin Haney are on the card. And if Devin Haney and Hector Tanajara is getting made, and we're going to talk about that later, I'm 1,000% going just to troll Tanajara, just to troll Gary through him. I want to be the most mean reporter to Tanajara ever, just to make Gary cry.
My guy, Matt. You're my guy.
But I'll be honest. If those two fights, if Billy Joe Saunders doesn't get a legit fight on that card, and I'm using legit loosely to be honest here, and we don't get Haney Tanajara, I might just go for the fight week and skip out on fight day because there's another big fight that day. I want to say. I'm trying to remember.
No.
Yes, that and the Canelo card have like competing big cards with it. Maybe not boxing cards, but MMA cards.
Oh.
So I'll just go for the fight week stuff, and I'll just,
We'll see. See what happens. See what happens. You got to be there, Matt. It's gonna be crazy time. Just to say you were there. I know Katie Taylor and Crawler were on earlier that night, or was that the Canelo one? I can't remember. Anyway, what was the topic?
Sorry. Say what do you think is on the same night?
Either the Katie Taylor Crawler in Manchester.
I think it is actually. I think it is.
No, it'll be November 9th, I think. Canelo night.
Oh, is that Canelo night?
Yeah. / that other
rough for them.
Diaz night, whatever it is.
Yeah, Diaz Masvidal. Moving on, next topic, Tyson Fury. Back in the news. He was at WWE on Fox, made an appearance, jumped out into the crowd, all that fun stuff, no, I want to turn you off sound. And it's like honestly, who cares? Like, I know, hey, first off, got huge ratings. I was almost 4 million viewers for this SmackDown card. So that's good promotion for boxing. I get it.
It's good for Fury.
Good for Fury, good for Wilder Fury, because, there's obvious, it's Fox, so...
I saw a bunch of people saying, "Oh, why wasn't Wilder on the W?" But I guess he's in camp, right, for Ortiz. So
yeah, I think he just went to camp not too long ago after the Spence Porter fight.
Now. Yeah, he started now. Yeah, I saw some tweet they were there for day one. So
yeah, I saw some tweet too. They were in like 109-degree heat or something like that. I'm like, oh
yeah. So I'm sure
Bama heat.
Come November 23rd and that WWE will surely have Wilder on there as well.
It's a weekly show. There's plenty of opportunity for him to be on it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, it's automatic promo material. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you have this storyline, because they're now playing that, hey, Tyson Fury is going to be on WWE, like, in a storyline going forward in some way, in a small way going forward. You have a ongoing weekly potential to promote Wilder Fury on a massive cross-promotional platform like WWE and Fox. It makes sense for the fight. I just don't care. Like, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, for people who do watch.
Good for them. Good for you guys.
Yeah, Fury's on again tomorrow night with a microphone, apparently. So expect, I don't know, someone being called a dosser, but isn't he supposed to have? Didn't Coppen just say he's going to potentially have some kind of fight with the big hairy fucker?
Yeah, the
Strowman or something.
Yeah, that dude, Braun Strowman, or whatever his name is. I have no idea who this guy is.
Adult people, get over the WWE, please.
My thing is that I don't know who this guy is, Braun Strowman, so I don't know if it's a big deal for the WWE community. Like, if he was doing this with Brock Lesnar, you know what I mean? Like, you know who Brock Lesnar is. So it's automatically, oh, this is bigger. Braun Strowman, who is he? I don't know. Do you know? Connor, do you know?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Even Connor doesn't know, man.
We're grown adults. We wouldn't know.
You're so mean to the pro wrestling community.
I'm sorry.
Let them be. Let them be, okay?
I can't.
Shields Habazin was supposed to happen this weekend, obviously. It didn't. For those that didn't know or didn't living under a rock or something. There was a altercation, a fight, sucker punch between an alleged member, and we're going to get to it more going on, about the time an alleged member of Shields' team or entourage, in a sense, against Habazin's trainer. He had to get emergency, I think, surgery, because I think he had a broken, not orbital bone, but I forget what facial fracture or broken bone he had. I just know it wasn't an orbital bone. I just forget. It wasn't a jaw either, right? I forget what it was.
What else is there?
Like your cheekbone, maybe? Was it just a broken cheekbone? Which would hurt like a son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Ooh.
maybe.
Ooh.
Wasn't it multiple fractures to the face or something?
I don't remember the particulars, to be honest. But obviously the fight was canceled, and it's now come out via, let me get the Jason.
Rightfully so, by the way. Rightfully so, cancelled.
Yes. Well, no, if your head trainer can't train you and it's due to an altercation at a fight event, then yeah, it's kind of like on the promoter and the network in a sense, and it's their liability. If the trainer can't be there and you can't, quote, fly in a trainer from like wherever Habazin lives, then yeah, of course, like the fight should be canceled. And I shout out to Shields, because Shields has been actually pretty, what's the right term? Understanding, I guess. Except for the whole like fly your trainer out. I think I think she just was talking and didn't realize that was a very stupid thing to say. But the rest of her statements have been pretty encouraging to Habazin, and again, understanding. But it has come out that, per Jason Lewis of a local news network out there, that a source tells ABC 12 that Clarissa Shields' brother is in custody after Havana Habazin's trainer Bashir Ali was punched and suffered multiple facial fractures at yesterday's weigh-in. He has not been charged, but Flint police will be pursuing a warrant with the prosecutor's office. So now it's come out that it's her brother. Weird change, because obviously she said it wasn't anyone in her team or entourage. I don't know.
Maybe he's not part of the team or the entourage.
Well, no, I'm trying to understand. Like, did she not know it was who did it at the time that she's been saying this? You know what I mean? Or
yeah, maybe.
Or is he estranged in some way? Estranged brother. Like not really. He's technically a brother, but not really part of the team. Entourage, like you said. Like, I'm confused here, Shields, because that you did say he wasn't part of the team. I do want that cleared up. But other than that, it's just obviously a really unfortunate circumstance. And obviously, if her brother's the one that did it, and whoever's the one that did it, they should face whatever criminal punishment is deserving of them. But it's just...
I don't want it to go unnoticed that... I don't know what actually officially sparked it off, but wasn't it Shields' sister and the trainer were going back and forth? Yes. He said some pretty...
racial and... stupid,
nasty shit.
Yeah, nasty shit.
And let me tell you, if if a grown man says he's going to knock out my sister, I'm not going to sucker punch the guy, but I'm going to make it known physically that ain't happening. So
it's a little more understanding, yeah. But it's just like, hey, you're in front of cameras at a media event, like.
Oh yeah. But yeah, don't cheap shot an old guy like that.
No.
Kind of. I'm not like he got what he deserved, but. You can't say that shit to women, even if the woman's kind of
absolutely
getting up in your grill. So it's...
And she didn't even seem like she was really that aggressive. He seemed like he was...
I mean, she got pulled away from it. There is a video that he kind of carries it on. He goes down and sits in the media row, and he still shout barking shit over. Then there's like a cut in the camera, and then next thing he's on the floor, and shit looks pretty nasty. But I don't know. It's just a horrible, ugly thing, and it's not what women's boxing needed. This isn't, for me, this isn't on, I've seen a hell of a lot just aimed at Clarissa Shields.
Oh, I hate it. It's to be expected,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And she seems like she's taking it pretty hard, like the hate this time. And just Shields, ignore the fucking weirdos, man, honestly. Like,
yeah, I mean, people can have an opinion. She's out there saying the quote and that, and people don't necessarily believe it, but that's
totally not. That's totally not this issue.
No. I'm just saying. So people who already maybe got an opinion.
I understand that
happens, and it's fuel to their fire, and it's it's not needed. This, it's just an ugly thing and a real shame. But it did leave Jaron Ennis headlining.
Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. I have not seen the fight. I've not watched it. It wasn't shown in the UK. I've not had time to watch it. Apologies. Being a dad and other combat sports.
I believe he shined, but I believe he was supposed to because this guy was a bit of a easy touch. And I'm not ready to watch Jermaine Franklin
No.
a unanimous decision over someone that Hrgovic knocked out in a round.
No, I don't want to see Jermaine Franklin, period, to be quite honest.
I mean, look, Steve Farhad said on that podcast with Woodsley Talkbox, he said Jermaine Franklin's really got to shine because he's had a couple of opportunities on TV now and he's just not delivered. So he's really got to shine. Apparently, he got very wide virtually every round. He won every round, but I don't know if that's considered shining against that guy. But
well, he's looked great. Like Enos has always been looking like an awesome prospect. He's one of those guys. Like I'm now ready to face a top 15, 20 gatekeeper. Maybe not a legit top 10 guy, but a clear gatekeeper to those guys. I want to see that.
I believe, like I say, Ennis done his thing, and he's rightfully got people on some kind of hype train. He does look the goods, but as we know, as the levels progress, that's when you need to really show it that.
And I agree with you completely. But when he's the second, biggest Showtime fighter and most consistent fighter, you're gonna be a star eventually, right? You have Gervonta Davis and then Jared Enos, the two stars of Showtime. By the way, not a shot at you, Enos. It's a shot at Showtime Boxing's content. But moving on, again, Shields, Habazin, I hope they sort of reschedule the fight in a way.
Yeah, it's been they classed it as postponed, so yes. I guess they'll work it out. So let's not forget these didn't get money, and
no, neither did.
So.
They need money. I would expect, especially Shields, because her trainer is not incapacitated right now, that they get a fight rescheduled, even if it's not with Habazin. Fast.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because let's be honest, they could probably get a vacant, because this is for a vacant belt, right? For two vacant belts, they can find someone else.
It was a WBA vacant title, and then the WB said, "Yeah, we'll get some of that. We'll get Shields in on that action."
They can definitely find someone else to.
But let's not get too looking forward to this fight actually getting rescheduled, because Shields was a minus 10,000.
Well, no. Like I said, it's probably not going to happen next, and it doesn't really matter. But one thing I do want to know, because we never really saw the fight, so this is my only sort of take on the fight before we even saw one or we didn't see one. Shields did look like she was cutting a massive amount of weight. She did look a little bit gaunt in the face. I am curious to see how she does at 154, because that's the division where if she looks good in, she can then call up Cecilia Brækhus for a big fight. That's the hope.
Yeah, I think that'll be more of a catch weight thing than I don't think Brækhus goes 154.
You know what I'm thinking? 154 with the rehydration limit. See?
Maybe. See? I don't know. We'll see. All that Canelo shit.
Yeah, but Canelo Kova doesn't have a rehydration clause.
Not that we heard.
They keep saying there's no rehydration clause. I don't know.
Who said
that? Gomez did. Didn't he?
I don't know.
I mean, I was on the red carpet. I remember them talking about it. I think it was Marcos Villegas for Fight Hub. So one of the Fight Hub videos on that red carpet for Canelo Kovalev, I'm pretty sure they were talking about it. I was doing my own interviews. Okay. But I remember hearing about it. And so anyways, digressing. But speaking of someone that was saying stuff and then came back to say, no, guys, I was lying. Charlie Edwards actually is vacating his WBC flyweight title. Damn. Now, obviously, he does chalk it up to the weight, and if the weight cuts too much, then obviously move up. There's no shame in that. However, like I said to you, Rob, whenever we talked about this a week or so ago, I said, in order to make people like me happy, and maybe he doesn't care about making people like me happy, that's his right.
I don't even care about that.
Well, you don't care about making anyone happy, okay? I don't know how Vicky puts up with you. That's what you're like, harsh, but kind of true. I would say offer Martinez the fight at 115 because you can still start to save face ducking him in a way and vacating the belt by saying, hey, I still want you to fight you, but I just can't take the weight cut, man. Please fight me here in this weight class.
It was either part of his letter or it was part. Yeah, he done like a public one. I know he done the one to Mauricio Suleiman where he was like, "Hey, mate." I was like, "Oh, okay." But he done like a public one, and he said in that he said, "Hopefully Martinez will want to move up." Or was it? It might have even been in his. He done like a video as well, but.
Oh, he said that? Good.
He said he hopes Martinez moves up and they can face up again together, but he can't do the cut anymore.
And I mean, add another point to it. I don't want to hear him just say that though. Like, and this is the same thing as like Crawford mentioning any PBC guy. Don't just mention it. Send an offer, a public offer. Go out in the media and say, "Hey, I just sent a official offer to this person for this fight on this date for this venue. Let's go." And if they don't accept it, the ball's in their court now to look bad, and not you.
It's not them looking bad, is it? It's just Charlie Edwards looking better. I don't think it's them looking bad because I don't know. We're staying here. We're fighting for your old title, or why would I fight you now? You haven't got a title.
No, I don't
think it makes them look bad.
I think it would. No, I think it does. Like in a sport that's built on machismo, we're talking about an Hispanic fighter too. No, it definitely would make him look bad. And like we've talked about this before, with that division and those divisions overall, only hardcores follow them. So it's not like it's a bunch of casual fans that are forgetful and are going to come around to the next big fight and aren't going to remember that Canelo popped for clenbuterol or shit like that and have big issues with it. But the fans that follow Charlie Edwards are going to remember for the rest of his career that he vacated this belt and didn't send an offer to Martinez. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Let's say if he does send an offer, Martinez doesn't accept. People are always going to remember Martinez didn't want the fight next. He wanted something else. Like people will remember in these weight classes more so than others. That's just a different factor. But like I said, I have no issue with Edwards moving up. Obviously, if it's a weight cut issue, because look, I think guys cutting too much weight is significantly unhealthy and is one of, if not the biggest issue in combat sports overall. Like if you had to point out one issue in combat sports across MMA, boxing, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, karate, everything, okay, weight cutting is the biggest fucking issue. But digressing, Rob, unless you have any points, I kind of ranted for a bit there. I apologize.
No, but just by the way, so there's just a little something going back to Madrimov in the one-on-one chat or the whatever it's called now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull it up if it's just Madrimov because I think the system might fucking crash on us if we do that.
Oh, okay, let me say it then quickly. Chris Mannix reporting possible opponent for rising contender Israel Madrimov in his next fight is 154-pound veteran Willie Nelson.
Ooh.
Nelson, played by inactivity, is 4-1 in his last 5, with his only loss to Boo Boo Andrade and a knockout of Tony Harrison on his resume. That is a solid fight.
I like that fight a lot. No, and like Mannix, right? He said like Nelson's been super inactive, and that's been upsetting because he's a guy that he could be like a Tony Harrison that like bounces back and like wins titles here and there, and maybe isn't a long time champion, but might win a belt, like I said, here or there. But I like that matchup a lot. Glad to hear it.
Not bad for your 5th professional fight.
No, he seems like he's on the fast track for sure. And
I mean, got hella amateur background. So
my only issue with Madrimov is he just doesn't set up his shots.
He jumps in and moves around. He got a lot of wasted energy, but it's kind of, I think, part of his appeal in a way. But as he gets further on, he needs to really iron some of that shit out for me. And that's why what I meant by I wasn't quite as blown away as I was hoping to be by Madrimov this time around. But, he's exciting anyway.
Yeah, agreed. Moving on. I can't wait. Rob, have the God sound bites up, ready to roll.
Oh.
Okay, because Charles the God Martin is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. He's going to be facing some upstart guy named Daniel Dubois. Who's that? Some UK bum.
To which, pretty soon after, we'll probably say,
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
Yeah. I love this fight if it were to happen. So Frank Warren is saying per seconds out, Raider Rahim, and by way of Michael Benson, how we're getting it. Joe Joyce, Dubois, double headlining a card later this year. Joe Joyce most likely facing Marco Huck, which I don't like at all, to be honest. I think that's a really bad fight. Does nothing for Joyce at heavyweight. And
which I believe Frank Warren is a little bit worried about getting it to land on BT Sport, because Huck's people have got quite a hefty amount of money behind him, and it might not land on BT. So he's a little bit concerned.
Okay. Interesting.
Going to purse bids.
Interesting. And then Dubois facing Charles Martin, which is a much better matchup in my opinion. I also open to Otto Wallin, but I feel like Otto Wallin is the hot topic name right now for every heavyweight, right? Like,
finish that sentence though. Otto Wallin, what?
Who's signed with Bob Arum? But that's not surprising.
No, right? I suppose not. But
I mean, I kind of assumed there was an option on him.
Probably, yeah.
Like I assume Arum had the option on like Schwartz, but maybe just shows like, come on, like who cares? But Dubois, Charles Martin, I think it's a fun fight. Charles Martin has definitely evolved to a good gatekeeper. You know, like a guy that he's gonna, if you beat him, you belong in the top 15 without question. You belong fighting some better opposition. If you lose to Charles Martin, maybe go back to the drawing board. Or if you look bad against Charles Martin, maybe go back to the drawing board a little bit, please. I'm in favor of this matchup, and I like it far more than a Marco Huck, who's a career cruiserweight, moving up to heavyweight and facing Joe Joyce.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the God back in the UK. Let's see, but I'm pretty sure Dubois is gonna land something pretty substantial on the God.
Oh yeah.
But I wish I got the Ludabella soundbite. If he didn't have the chin of God, he would have been knocked the fuck out. Yeah, unless the God has got the chin of God. I can't see Dubois being derailed.
He doesn't, let's be honest.
No. So I don't see the Dubois train getting derailed.
No. Speaking of trains getting derailed, Showtime. Their next planned card, and PBC card more specifically, on October 26th, which was supposed to be Erickson Lubin versus Terrell Gaucher, is now off, and Erickson Lubin versus Nathaniel Gallimore, which has some people within the PBC side now saying that's a better fight somehow.
Gallimore's got some pop.
I am just... No, I'm not going to rant. Just gonna...
you pick your rants, don't you?
Well, it just... Like, how can you say Gallimore's better than Gaucher? Like, I'm not a Gaucher like apologist in any way. Like, I don't think he's that extremely gifted and talented. But come on, guys, like, stop saying that clear, I don't know, regional guys are better than top 20 people in their divisions. Like, it doesn't make sense. Don't say that, please. But it's definitely just another sort of step backwards for Showtime in a way. Like, yeah, like this card wasn't the best on paper already, but then on top of you add a late notice opponent with Gallimore, whose best win is against Justin De La Roche. Okay, like, who is that, guys? Like, he was on Showbox a couple times. That's it. Like, these guys have beaten no one, done nothing. And when they have fought people, they've lost. So I mean, even the Gachet fight was not a competitive fight, in my opinion, with Lubin. Especially the Renaissance Lubin we are seeing right now, right? That's fighting and beating actual guys, people that we know, people that are legitimate top 20 names. The Gallimore and Gachet aren't. And at least Gachet had a more, credentialed background, more pedigree. But yeah. Anyways, I love seeing people try to say that Gallimore is the better fight than Gachet. Sure, guys, go for it. Say that.
Yeah, we'll see. But whatever. I don't think ITV are carrying it. I'm pretty sure.
Some loser in the chat. Hold on, sorry. Some loser in the chat is saying Showbox is where a lot of world champions started. Yeah, so is like Azteca TV. It doesn't mean a guy that's fought on Azteca TV a couple times is automatically a world level guy. You fucking idiot. God, people are stupid, man. I can't stand these people. Moving on. I think you were about to say this date is already stacked, so it didn't even matter. Like, this card was going to get swamped by other better cards, and that's just the reality of it. And
when same day that Josh Taylor becomes the Muhammad Ali Trophy winner.
I like your alternate reality there, Rob. Good one. Moving on to a fight I think that we can all love. I know Gary is hyped on because he knows his man's about to lose, per Dan Rayfield. Devin Haney, Hector Tanajara in the works, or it may be in the works, for the KSI Logan Paul undercard. Now, look, obviously KSI Logan Paul is a shit fight, and it's not even really a fight, in my opinion. Like, who cares? But Haney Tanajara is a fun fight. It's two really high-level prospects from two different promoters. I love this fight. And on top of it, like I've said, Gary, a longtime listener of this show, who is from Texas, a big Tanajara fan, is going to eat his words when Devin Haney outbox and stops Tanajara within like 10 rounds. It's going to be great. Cannot wait to see that, guys.
Yeah, it's just going to be a great smugness kind of feel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you could be there live, Matt. You're going to be there live.
Maybe.
Come on.
Here's the thing. I also apply for Canelo Kovalev the next week, so I don't know if I'm going to go to both.
Why?
I don't know. Because again, I might just go to fight week for KSI Logan Paul, and then skip out fight day, and then go for fight day for Canelo Kovalev. That's a better fight. Because I don't know if I can go to Vegas for a whole week and go for fight week for that. It's a lot of money that we don't have.
Wait, you can't go to fight week what?
Fight week for Vegas would be expensive.
Oh, okay.
Because that'd be a hotel the whole week, everything like that, Trying to map out credentialing the rest of the year. It's gonna be hard.
Drive it every day. It's only a few hours, right?
4.5.
How is it really?
Yeah. And that's on a good day.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, Haney Tanajara.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement. Great fight. And Haney wins, clearly.
Nikita Ababi's going to be on there as well. Eddie Hearn told Nikita he's going to be on there.
I really don't care, to be honest.
Yeah, but you hate. I'm just telling
I don't
people.
hate. Like, Nikita is like one of those guys, like, I don't want to like you just because someone tells me to like you. Like, yeah, he looks good. Like, all around decent, fighter, kind of above average and everything. But I need to see more. Same with like Tanajara, for example. Kind of like that guy. Who else? Be another good comparison. Thinking of other DAZN guys, which probably makes you upset, like Diego Pacheco. I like Emma Williams though a lot. I like him a lot.
He's over in the UK right now.
Yeah, he seems to have a little more of an it factor in the ring and outside the ring.
He's fighting on the World Boxing Super Series final card. He's on there.
Do you agree with me on that? That Emma Williams has more of an it factor in the ring than Nikita Bobby?
I think they're got a similar thing going on, I would say. I don't know why you brought Pacheco into this.
Because they're just like the big prospects, like those guys that get pushed a lot. You know, whenever you see Eddie talk about his U.S. prospects, those are the 3 names he mentions every interview.
Yeah. No, but I think Nikita and Ammo are kind of on the same sort of trend. I think Nikita's got a good following. He's got his own YouTube channel and he's doing his thing.
How many subs does he have?
I don't think a busting a lot. I don't think he's.
Do we have more than him?
We may have.
Oh my God! Please tell me we do.
I think we do.
I'd be so happy, guys. You have no idea.
Why?
Hey, you know, like simple things like that, man, make me happy. But while you get that up,
Brandon Barbie. Oh no, wait, 9,000.
Oh no, he has a lot more than us.
Yeah,
he's a lot more.
Let me see. Nikita Barbie. This is on his channel. Nikita Barbie versus Corey Delaney. 3rd pro fight. Hashtag Nikita Barbie. Hashtag White Chocolate. Hashtag DAZN. 1.5 million views.
Was that DAZN's video or his that he uploaded on his own?
He's uploaded it onto his channel.
You know what I mean? Like because you know how like I can tag other channels in my channel. But digressing from that, moving on to other boxing topics. Brandon Figueroa back in action against Julio Ceja, potentially November 15th on a PBC FS1 card. I like this fight. I'll be honest. Figueroa's one of those guys where like he's going to be sort of in this limbo where he's fighting like decent opposition, but not great opposition until he fights another champion or just a champion because he's not really a legit champion yet. And until he does, it's hard to know really how high his ceiling is because obviously he's good, he's talented, but is he a guy to like hold down a division for 5 years? I don't know. I need to see him against a Roman, a Ray Vargas, even a Guillermo Rigondeaux who doesn't have a belt. You know, like I need to see him against some of those names before I get hyped like Gary does about Brandon Figueroa. But should be a fun fight. Both guys are inside fighters. Both guys like to throw at volume too, like to throw with combination. I'm completely in favor of this matchup. Rob, before you jump in and give your thoughts on Figueroa, I just want to say this quickly, a little house note, because BK sort of reminds me of this in the chat, saying this channel should have way more subscribers. What's going on? What's the idea for the future? Well, here's the issue. 35% of you guys are not subscribers. 35% of the people watching this show and our videos are not subscribers. Only 20% of you click that notification bell. So if you guys like want to help out the channel, subscribe. First off, obviously, if you're listening and you're not subscribed yet, that's like the first thing you should do. Hit that subscribe button. It's right there. If you're watching the video, there's a little like MCR symbol right there, bottom right-hand corner of the video. Hit that symbol. You can subscribe right there. It's right below in the description. Subscribe, and then hit the notification bell so you know when we're making videos, when we're doing videos, when we're doing shows. And if you do those things, the show will definitely grow. And then also hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, patreon.com, all that fun stuff. Digressing, Rob, Figueroa, Ceja, thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. But yeah, no, I like Brandon Figueroa, but I don't want to say too much because I know he's listening, but you know. But no, I think that's a good fight. That'll be a good one to watch. But you brought up Rigondeaux. Apparently, his next fight, he's going back down, isn't he, to 118 or something?
No. His next fight's 122.
Is that where he was at?
No, that's where he was at. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he's moving down. I thought I was seeing a bunch of the PBC guys like, oh wait, I didn't realize he was.
No, I reported on his last fight against with Laborio Solis, right? And that's a 122 fight, I believe. Unless he does go down to 118, but I doubt it. That would be the first time in his career.
I think so. There's certain people in the chat that would definitely know.
Andrew Diakonu in the chat with the super chat. Thank you, Andre. Always a long time listener and supporter for years and years. Saying, hit the damn buttons, people. Shaking my head. Yes, do it. Do it. Do it. But digressing from that, let's move on. We have so many topics to get to. And we have some fun topics. I saved some of the promoter petty drama shit for the end of the show so we can have some laughs and then get to callers. But before, we're going to cry a little bit because Jeff Horn is wanting to retire himself here. Jeff Horn announces he'll rematch Michael Safara in his next fight. This poor guy, for some reason, has wanted to make himself irrelevant ever since the Pacquiao fight. Oh, I didn't mean to click that again. I apologize. But it worked. I mean, I cannot think of someone that had a superstar making moment like that against Pacquiao and then literally ruin it at every turn possible since then in sports history. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. Does that emphasize the fact it was just a very bad day in the office for Manny Pacquiao? That it was such a competitive fight with a Jeff Horn? Because he got ironed out by Crawford.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think like 160 now.
Yeah. The Safari fight's
holding a title at 147.
I don't know, man. Like I said, what a waste. Like, if this guy was dedicated, if he moved to the U.S. probably after as well, or just moved to a legit camp, period, I think we would have seen not a great career, but like a guy that would still be around at the top. You know what I mean? Like, still be a perennial top 10 guy at this point in time at 147.
Okay, check box rec. He's there.
Stop it. Stop it. But Michael Safara probably going to beat him up again. I mean, gosh, I don't know why they do that. Let's get to... We're going to skip some stuff. Carlos Adames fighting Patrick Teixeira. Rhoda Moreta fighting Stephen Butler in December. Like, yeah, who cares? Oh, this is a funny story, though. I just want to quickly mention this. The whole Shavkat Rakhimov story of him getting the smelling salts, right? And them finding drugs and like IV bags and everything in his hotel room is a insane fucking story. So go check out this article on Bloody Elbow because just for the sake of time, I want to just run through this. It's
not so insane when you find out he was rooming with Lance Armstrong.
Why don't we have that soundbite? I feel like I say that every time I do it, but like we need a you need one. And I'll be honest, I've looked a couple times. There just aren't good ones. Okay, promoter talk now. I've saved a lot of this. Bob Arum, Dana White, and what else? What else do we have? Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, all in a row now for topics, guys. So get some popcorn. It's gonna be a good time to hear some promoters.
Right, I've got to find some Eddie quick.
Lawsuits, everything. Great way to end the topics and then get to callers. I think I'm going to do this more often is save a lot of this petty shit for the end because I think it's hilarious. But this one's not really petty, so to speak, but it's just promoter talk more so. It's Dana White talking to Gary Cooney and I forget the other guy's name on Sirius XM's boxing show. And he talks about working with Al Haymon. And let's see if we can play the clip. I don't know if we can because, again, the system has been atrocious all fucking day. Come on.
Zoo for Boxing.
Here we go.
Is it going to be on Fight Pass? What are we going to be watching it on?
I think that we'll have, you'll be watching it on Fight Pass, and we'll have a television deal, too.
Are you really considering about acquiring the PBC?
Listen, I have a really good relationship with Al Haymon. I think Al Haymon's brilliant, and I like some of the moves that he's made and some of the things that he's done. I can guarantee you that I will be working with Al Haymon.
You've said that you have a good relationship with him. What about Eddie Hearn?
Well, you know what? I came out and said early on, I said some things about Anthony Joshua that I liked him. He's a good-looking kid. He's got great energy. Loved his fight. With the Klitschko, I wasn't a big fan of the Klitschko brothers. Those guys would put you to sleep,
Right.
by the second round. So when I saw that fight, I thought that was a great fight. You know, I think Eddie Hearn took me the wrong way, like I was going to take a run at his guy and all that stuff. So I think we kind of got off on the wrong foot. Then I met him. We sat down, talked face to face, and we had a great meeting. He actually toured the facilities out here, and I like Eddie Hearn. So I definitely think that Eddie Hearn and I could work together.
So, Dana, as far as Zuffa Boxing, have you talked to any networks?
You know what's funny? I didn't have to talk to any networks. When I said that I was looking to get into the boxing, the network started calling me.
Now, he also said like he has some unnamed guy working for Zuffa Boxing that's like running it all. No idea who that person is. Rob, any thoughts on like Zuffa Boxing, the UFC, and Dana White getting into the sport, working with Eddie Hearn, Al Haymon, etc.? Like, do you care? Is this a story? And people asking what's Zuffa. Zuffa is the name of the corporation that technically owns the UFC. So when you talk about UFC, the true ownership company is actually called Zuffa LLC. And the actual owners of Zuffa now are Endeavor, William Morris Endeavor Talent Agency, which is a Hollywood talent agency run by Ari Emanuel. Sorry, just want to explain that quickly for some people that maybe not know what these terms are, what these names are. Dana White, president of the UFC. Zuffa Boxing would be the name that they've been throwing out for their boxing promotion, air quotes, whatever that may be. But Rob, circling back to you, thoughts on Dana White's quotes, working with Al Haymon, Eddie Hearn, and just Zuffa Boxing overall in the future? Do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's actually going to happen? Thoughts?
When he said he's not going to work with any of the like WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, that makes you think, how is he going to work? How is he going to sign fighters to not fight for world titles? I don't know. Obviously, he's going to make up his own some fucking. I don't know. Trying to do what? I guess.
Because the weird thing is, it's literally against the Ali Act. Like you can't, like a promotion can't have its own belts. Like that's within the Ali Act. That's why we have sanctioning bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, why not? Another soundboard needed for when we start getting Dana White clips at fighting at events and stuff. But I don't know. I've seen people saying that he's going to be buying the PBC or he's going to be.
Well, yeah, that those talks slowed down a lot because Endeavor, the parent company, and we did a video on this a week or so ago. Check it out somewhere on our channel. That Endeavor pulled back their IPO, which means they were going to go public, be traded on the stock market on Wall Street, which meant in theory they were going to get a huge influx of cash, which they were going to then in turn buy PBC or buy out Waddell and Reed's investment of PBC and have Haymon run it. But those talks dried up because Endeavor is no longer going public because they were not going to make the money going public that they thought they were. And again, we did a video on that not too long ago, so check it out. But Rob, it seems like everyone's at a wait and see with this because I don't think anyone honestly thinks Zuffa Boxing is going to come in here and change the industry overnight. I don't see it happening. I don't see Zuffa being the catalyst to get rid of sanctioning bodies. If it does, honestly, that's an issue. Like a private corporation coming into the sport and buying up rights is not necessarily a positive thing. I know maybe for a short term it might be nice because it consolidates some of the sport, but long term there's issues there. Look at the UFC's issues in terms of wage share. You know, UFC fighters get paid 20% of the revenue. Boxers on average get paid 70%. Just a different ball game. And that's in large part because of even things like the sanctioning bodies or just the splintered sort of way that boxing is structured. It allows boxers to actually have more leverage. But digressing from that, let's talk about Bob Arum getting spicy in the media. I didn't hear it. You have to turn up.
Oh, this is loud. I'll have to get a new one, but
Send to me. I'll jump up the audio a bunch because that quality is fine. But Bob Arum out there in the media talking shit, saying Spence Porter pay-per-view did under 200,000 buys, and specifically he said 170,000 pay-per-view buys. And then asked what did Crawford Khan did. He said 125,000 buys. So, look, I know like Woodsy was out here, because this is Michael Woods of was it NewYorkFights.com, right? And I know he was out and getting a lot of flack by people because of this. And honestly, rightfully so in a way, because like I get you run this headline. You have to. Like, it's Bob Arum. He's a name. It's a headline, right, Rob? Like, if we interviewed Bob Arum, I get running this headline. But don't then double down and go, yeah, like Bob Arum has sources in the industry because he's been around for 60 years. Of course he knows what the number is. Like, don't then double down and like defend a clear propaganda move by a rival promotional outfit. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good journalism, to be quite honest. Like, sorry, Woodsy, I like your work, I respect you, but that's not good journalism. Is when you hear, hey, all these reports from Coppinger, I think even who else put out reports for pay-per-view buys? Was it just Cop?
Keith Idek.
Keith Idek. They put out numbers that are above what Bob is saying. They have their sources. And you go to a rival promoter with obvious conflict of interest and you ask him what he thought the numbers did. And you then double down on, well, he has sources in the industry. Don't say that. We know he's in the industry and has sources in it. He is a part of the industry, literally. He's been an integral skeleton part of boxing for 60 plus fucking years. Of course he does. But that doesn't mean that he is honest in what he's saying here or that he is being forthright with knowledge with you, Woodsy. The good journalistic thing to do would then be to find sources within Top Rank or your own sources for the Spence Porter numbers and to corroborate that information. That's what you do. You know, and that's, like, I'll be honest, like, breaking news to this degree and trying, like, it's hard work. And if you do it lazy, it's apparently lazy. Right? And that's kind of what this was. Like, you got a hot quote from Bob Arum because you kind of knew you could. And trust me, I used to work for somebody that would call Bob Arum up all the time just to get hot quotes from him when there was a topic inside the boxing world. Because they knew it was Bob Arum. He's an angry person. He will give you a quote. And to then not do the next follow-up step of a journalist and to corroborate that information, it looks bad on you, Woodsy, and you're a long-time journalist. You should know better than that.
It's not a laughing matter. It's not a joke.
And again,
that's really serious.
Sorry, Bob. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Bobby. But if he just came out and said, look, like, this is clearly just Arum saying this. I'm not endorsing him or this number. This is just what he said, and I'm reporting it. But I don't think it's true. Or I need more information. Or if he says something along those lines, then you're vindicated, Woodsy. Like, there's no issue then. Because you're just relaying information. The doubling down on that information is the issue there. But, Rob, do you think Spence Porter did 170,000 pay-per-view buys?
No.
That's so low.
No, I don't think he'd done that. I think it'll get up to what it's been kind of reported as of lately with the 275. It'll be somewhere close to that, I guess. I think, but yeah, believe in a word that comes out of Bob Arum's mouth at the moment. He seems to be on a bad batch at the minute. I think
a minute.
Wow, an especially bad batch at the moment. But yeah, no, he's the king of they're losing money hand over fist. I know the numbers. Al Haymon's losing a bunch of money. Eddie Hearn don't know shit. He's just sold 1,000 tickets for Triple G and blah 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 blah. And
same old Bob.
Sorry, Bob, but How did Fury Wilding get on? Yeah.
Ooh. Extra loud shots for that one because it's extra true. Moving on.
Talking about.
Oscar De La Hoya is being sued by Radio DJ Tattoo, who I think is like an LA radio host. I should know. I'm from LA, right? But here's what he says. Here's the first part. That's just like basic information about the suit. But he continued, quote, this is from the person suing him, DJ Tattoo himself. Among various things, on countless occasions over the course of over 3 years, Oscar De La Hoya would contact Tattoo at all hours of the night in need of help from various compromising situations, and in most cases, assisting De La Hoya out of life-threatening situations while he was highly intoxicated and under the influence of various substances. Now, look, I'll be honest. I really don't care about like going in depth on whether this is true or not. What I really want to know is what are these life-threatening situations? Like, I'm envisioning like, I don't know, like Transporter with Jason Statham here. Okay, and Oscar De La Hoya's drunk or drugged up in the back seat. I don't know. And DJ Tattoo is the one that's Jason Statham. But regardless, this is hilarious. And this is one of the funniest stories I've heard all year.
Yeah, when that came up, I think it was Yahoo, right? I think they first reported what was going on. Yeah, it is crazy. But just, thankfully, we now know that Oscar's drinking responsibly. No, I don't know. Well, obviously, I don't know whether more of this will come out, but holy crap. Was the guys after, what was it, 10,000 per suit per...
I forget how much he was going after.
Something like $10,000 per thing, but I'm guessing there's quite a few by the sound of it, so it could be quite... I'm sure it'll get settled out of court rather than this becoming where we do find out what these life-threatening incidents were.
But again, I want to know.
Yeah, all right. Let's take it to court. Let's go.
Let's go. Moving on. Speaking of court, though, last topic of the day. Floyd Mayweather has an upcoming 20 million defamation case claim against Floyd Mayweather scheduled for September 25th, 2019. But it got rescheduled actually for today. So guys, by the time you guys are watching this or whenever, we might have more information about this. So check Twitter, check Boxing Scene. There should be an update on the Floyd Mayweather defamation case that I don't know anything about. And I just don't have any real take on other than it's Floyd Mayweather. He's getting sued. Here you go. Information.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just out there. Try and find out more about it if it's of any interest. But let's be honest, he can cover it. Yeah. He's got a table in the kitchen covered in, and a table in the living room that's covered in cash, and
he's good.
A couple of watches might.
One watch.
Yeah. So he'll be all right.
Not a big deal. Let's go out to callers 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. International callers, Skype Mix Combat Radio. Santiago in LA. What's up?
Hey guys, not much. Didn't really catch many of the fights that happened this week, and just due to the fact that I'm moving. I did catch the GGG card with my mom, and I think she pretty much said everything that had to be said before the fight even started. Because the first thing she asked me when she saw him is, "Man, why does he look so old? I just saw him last year." And, for a while it seemed like we were going to get the patented Triple G knockout win when he knocked down Derevyanchenko. But then the next thing you know, Derevyanchenko gets that cut, and the fight completely changes for the better for him, at least, because, whereas you actually had 10-10 rounds you were struggling to give to Triple G at least, every time I thought I was going to get a 10-10 round, Derevyanchenko would do something that would edged that round to him in my scorecard. So it's an interesting tale to see how that fight really played out for a lot of people. Rob has Triple G winning. I have Derevyanchenko winning. And it's, it's almost like, I know you mentioned it too, that like maybe Father Time finally caught to. I think Father Time was imposed on him by Derevyanchenko because, I remember when Triple G once fought on the back foot against David Lemieux, and the Triple G we saw last night was neither Triple G that we, become accustomed to when it came to like the skill set that he had with him, and it's a shame that he didn't get the nod on this one, but. I'm not exactly like crying out outrage or anything over the scorecards. I thought it was a close fight for a lot of people. I could see why they would think that. And 114, 113, it's not the worst scores. Even 115, 112 for Triple G, I think maybe a stretch, but not the worst call that I could have seen. Considering all the other scorecards that we've been getting this past year. And I just got to say that at this point in time. I think, like you said too, Triple G is going to become that guy that people start making their name off of. Triple G is still a good commodity. It's still got some appeal to him. It's still the big drama show. And whoever actually gets that second win over him is going to be a hot commodity at that point. I think Derevyanchenko is at this point, and I'd be curious to see what a fight against him and Charlo would look like, considering that Charlo's more or less appeared to have already started hitting his ceiling, if not outright already hit it. Your thoughts on that?
I think a Charlo, even a Charlo that, let's say, has hit his ceiling, beats this version of Triple G. He's too fast, throws too many combinations. I think he's going to be pressing Triple G the whole night. I think there will be probably even a size disadvantage, too, or a strength disadvantage at the very least. I expect Charlo to win that fight. Even a Charlo that's been struggling as of late. I think the Triple G that we saw last night was there to be hit, there to throw combinations on, and that's a very bad thing against the current crop of middleweights and even super middleweights.
Rob, your take on that?
Against the likes of the Charlos and things like that?
Yeah, Jamal Charlo, Triple
Charlo.
G. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be a really good fight. I'd really like to see that.
That'd be fun.
I think.
And what?
I not running with this. Triple G was ill, but I don't think he was quite in. I don't know. I like I said, I agree with PED. I didn't think he looked great walk into the ring, but this is just whatever. But I don't think Triple G is actually fully washed yet, and I think it would be a huge step up for Charlo, in my opinion. At 160, I think it'd be a really good fight. I'd like to see it.
It depends on people's perception of Derevyanchenko, right? There are people out there that think Derevyanchenko barely lost against Jacobs, right? There's a guy that's just been outside of like the top guys, and there's people like me that thought Jacobs largely won almost like eight rounds against Derevyanchenko or something like that. Like I thought he won handily against Derevyanchenko. I've always thought Derevyanchenko was kind of a B-level guy. B-level guy should not beat all-time greats like a Triple G potentially. Like that's not how it's supposed to go down.
Do you, off the back of the losses to Jacobs and Triple G, see Derevyanchenko higher than Charlo?
No, but I can see the argument. Because, again, if you're of the mindset that, again, he almost beat, or you think he almost, like, kind of did beat Jacobs, you think he beat Triple G, and then, of course, you probably think that he's maybe a top 5 middleweight, right? But it depends on the context of the Triple G fight. It depends on what you thought the Jacobs fight, how dominant Jacobs was in that fight. If you're like me and I thought Triple G walked into this fight an old man, and it was apparent from round 1 that he was older, then maybe you look at this fight with a little bit of a different context and different light to it. Not to sort of discredit what Derevyanchenko did, because, again, I view Derevyanchenko as a B-level guy that rose to the occasion here and beat up a guy that is going to be in the Hall of Fame. I think this is a little bit different than, let's say, a Julian Williams, Jared Hurd fight, right? Jared Hurd is still in his prime, still was on a great run. Julian Williams was a guy that was still top 5, but wasn't really putting it together the right way. But there was a lot of hype around him, more so than Derevyanchenko, and then all of a sudden he put it together for a fight. And I think a lot of people are expecting Williams to sort of keep being that product, right? To still be that complete fighter that we saw in Jared Hurd, because now he's put it together. I think this is sort of just Derevyanchenko rising to the occasion and fighting an older, fading Triple G. And that context is just hard to get away from. So right now, I do put Charlo ahead of Derevyanchenko, just to answer your question there, Rob, in a long about way. But still, it's marginal, though. Like, I think a Charlo-Derevyanchenko fight, that's a pick-em fight. Like, I legit have struggled picking that fight and who would win that. I would love to see it. I know Derevyanchenko's obviously a Lou DiBella and a Al Haymon guy, so that's a possibility. So, Santiago, back to you.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, too, about your thoughts on the Derevyanchenko-Charlo fight, so I'm glad you already answered that. Rob, what about you?
Say again, sorry, I was just working on something there.
Charlo, Derevyanchenko, thoughts on that?
I think Derevyanchenko could beat Charlo quite, not easily, but I think he would be a real good challenge and great opponent for Charlo. I personally think. I think Derevyanchenko's really shown himself, and he's right up there in the easily top 10 in the division and pushing the top 5, I think.
Yeah, I believe so too, and I think that with the way that Charlo has been struggling with certain competition, either putting on the performances we would expect against the caliber of opposition he's been up against or whatnot, I think that if he were to get the fight with Derevyanchenko, I think this would be the fight that if he looks impressive beating Derevyanchenko, I think it puts him up there in the middleweight rankings, and it definitely helps him like maybe overcome the ceiling that he might be hitting at this point, getting over that plateau, as it were. Because Derevyanchenko, is a guy that I've been following since way back when they were still trying to figure out his record between like professional and the World Boxing Super Series. So I know he's a good guy, and I think that he'll present an interesting challenge because Derevyanchenko is a technically sound fighter. Whether or not he's got that X factor to overcome it, I think at this point it's still yet to be seen with the way his fights with Jacobs and GGG have turned out. But I definitely think that he is going to be a tough fight for anybody out there. So your final thoughts on that of a Derevyanchenko fight possibly being what helps push Charlo over that plateau or ceiling that he seems to be hitting at this point in his career?
It's quite possible. I mean, maybe he's just one of those guys that he needs to be fighting better opposition and you see better things from him. Like he's been fighting really poor opposition lately and he's looked poor. Maybe there's a correlation, a la like Billy Joe Saunders. Every time he fights poor opposition, he looks poor. But when he fights good opponents, it's like, wow, here's this great boxer that we wish would show up in these tune-up fights and put away these guys. It's a possibility for sure. And on top of that, it just, like, if you're a Charlo, you got to get up for a Derevyanchenko fight. And if you don't, you're going to get beat up, to be honest. So you have to, in a way. You have to get over that plateau that he's hit in his last few fights. Otherwise, it's going to be a rough night.
Agreed, for sure. And it's a shame about what happened with the Shields Habazin fight and everything that went down with the trainer. Best wishes to him on his recovery and the situation being sorted out with all parties involved. You don't want to see things like that. Those are the things that, are a black eye for boxing, and it should never have to come down that way. We've had so many of those incidents, like with what happened with Darrell's uncle in Uskategui, and like, that's just, we're professionals at this point. You guys are professional fighters, professional trainers, professionals. Conduct yourselves accordingly at that point. And before I, end my call, I just want to give a special shout out to Eric Cruz on the baby reveal today. Kudos to you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well for yourselves. Take it easy, guys. Everyone who's been listening into the show, share, subscribe, hit that like button, follow on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon. Facebook.com/Mixed Combat Radio. These guys are always doing what they can to put work in so that we can have these kind of shows, even when they're having technical difficulties.
Thank you, Santiago.
Speaking of technical difficulties.
Yeah. By the way, that Mayweather shit, that's 2020, not 2019. I misread it. It's October 6th, 2020, not today.
Push that back with those lawyers.
I just paid the $20,000. Like, I'm so confused here.
20 million.
Oh, it's 20 million? Fuck. I swear I'm dyslexic sometimes, man.
Oh my god.
Oh, holy shit.
I followed up on it. I was like, yeah, any word on this? And he's like, yeah, he's pushed it back 2020. I was like, 2020? Then I looked at the
original.
All right, cool. Thanks for that.
You know what's funny? I did that. What did I do it with earlier? It was just Sean Nam, I want to say. Shout out to Sean Nam. It was the Elio Alvarez and the Adonis Stevenson mix-up. So Sean Nam, reporter at Boxing Junkie, was talking to Yavon Mitchell, and he was talking about Adonis Stevenson doing really well and how he's like he's healthy again and all that fun stuff.
I saw this.
And he continues with the tweet talking about, and then he jumps to Elio Alvarez fighting in January. And for some reason, I just skipped over Alvarez's name, and I read it as Adonis Stevenson coming back and fighting 2020 in January, right? And I'm like, wait a minute.
What the fuck?
Mitchell's out here talking about, oh, Stevenson's healthy, he's back, fighting in 2020. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it was like, no, it's Alvarez. I was like, I'm stupid. Clearly.
My bad.
God, I've had a few of those lately. We're just, again, I need to get some glasses or something. 951, who is this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Good. Who is this?
Johnny.
Johnny, what's up? In Chicago,
hey,
I think, right?
What's going on, guys? I don't think you guys talked about it, but well, maybe real quick. But did you see the Ivan Branchek undercard?
Yeah, we're right. We really didn't touch on it too much.
Picked him up.
Yeah, that was. We didn't touch on it too much. I'll be honest, he didn't look too good to me. He kind of looked sloppy throughout the fight.
Yeah, they were pushing each other back and forth. They got a little dirty, kind of, but I don't think they were too happy with each other.
Agreed.
But so the Triple G, I mean, this fight, I mean, yeah, I guess now we know why neither him or Canelo wanted to face him, right? I mean, he kind of brought it to him.
He sure did.
Yeah. Dangerous fight. Charlo, I don't know who would win that fight, but Charlo would have to really step up his fights to get that win. If he could knock him out, I think that'll set him over the top.
It's very possible.
But as far as I don't remember who said it, but was it Triple G's trainer that said they could fight anyone in 160 and 168?
Yeah, but that was Abel Sanchez. It was the last trainer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say, I was like, I don't see him even going toe to toe with Benavidez or Callum Smith. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, even come on. I mean, even guys like Caleb Plant might hurt him. I mean, not hurt him, but I mean, they might just pour it on him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, Fury's doing what Fury does best. You know, that's his motto.
That's true.
But that's all I got. Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you for the call, Johnny.
Yes, man.
And let's go out to, and we have a little announcement to make. We should make this announcement before he calls in and start shitting on it, like on us that we haven't said it. By the way, guys, due to popular demand, and because
boy, don't lie,
it's true. We've definitely had a lot of people ask us to do this. Okay.
I mean, don't make up shit.
Is your soundboard like turned down a lot?
I don't know.
It sounds like it's down a lot.
That was Bob. He said, "Don't make up shit."
I heard it, but I don't know if the people heard it. But digress from that. We will be having a new co-host, guys, jumping on in the future. He doesn't have his equipment yet or training. there's extensive training.
Or his microphone and stuff.
Well, I said equipment. That's all encompassing. It's not just microphone. It's other stuff too that he needs.
Yeah.
And it should be fun. I mean, you guys know him. You guys know him very well. It's Gary from Dallas. He'll be joining us as an official member of MCR, and on top of that, helping out the website and definitely pissing off Rob and myself 24/7, which will make a lot of people happy, I think. But without further ado, Gary from Dallas. Gary.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, man.
Couple of things. That Oscar De La Hoya, I don't even know who DJ Tattoo is.
Doesn't
but
matter.
Maybe that's his guy. Maybe that's the guy he goes to, right? Like,
well, DJ Tattoo.
Frank Sinatra.
Quickly, DJ Tattoo was the MC for like most of Golden Boy shows. Not MC. I don't know if that's the right term, but he was like their DJ for like all of their shows forever. To be quite honest.
MC slash.
MC would be more like Bruce Buffer or like Michael Buffer. Like those are MCs technically.
Oh, Michael Buffer, by the way. Did you? He totally.
Do you know
there was no suspense.
Frank. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying there was no suspense with his announcement. He's like, Judge, so 150, 130. And then he's like, from Kazakhstan. People are like, wait, that's Triple J. and then he was like, still had about 10 more lines to read out before he said Triple G's name. Oh, man.
You're a little old. Gary, back to you. What? Frank Sinatra?
The thing is, it seems weird, but like Frank Sinatra said that Sugar Ray Robinson saved his life, and that I think he was running his car in the garage trying to kill himself, the garage door closed, and Sugar Ray Robinson came in and took him out. Otherwise, he would have been dead. Right? So it sounds weird that De La Hoya is calling this guy with these weird situations. But maybe that's his best friend. Maybe that's the guy he goes to.
That's levels, right?
Now look.
Sinatra needed Sugar Ray.
You're making it serious about like suicide and stuff. Like I get it. Like there's that angle, but like I want to take it to like the silly angle of like he's in B action like movies where he's in chase scenes and he's calling DJ Tattoo of a local LA radio show, and who sometimes DJs his fight cards to come and save him. And DJ Tattoo is sliding over cars with fucking guns and just shooting all over the place. Like, that's what I want to picture and imagine here.
Oscar's like tied to a train track or something.
Yes, definitely. That has happened. Like, that's not even allegedly. Like, that's for sure happened. There's train tracks in LA, too. I know them.
Sources.
Okay. There was Rob. You said, the Brandon Figueroa fight, is that official? Is that set?
No, not official. Okay. Not official.
You going, Gary? You going?
All right.
It's most likely though.
It depends where it is.
I need to
Rob,
check again.
You said that Brandon Figueroa was pretty good.
Yeah.
Is that just like your British understatement? Is that just like your tones? Like Kobe Bryant's a pretty good basketball player. Babe Ruth's a pretty good baseball player.
I love how you comparing. Wait, hold on.
Wait, Gary.
Tiger Woods a pretty good golfer. Like, really? Pretty good.
No. How can I think?
You know who's a pretty good basketball player? D'Angelo Russell.
He's not even. He's really good. Like a pretty good basketball player is Kyle Kuzma.
So pick someone worse than him, Matt, please.
No, that's a perfect example. It's a young guy, has a lot of talent.
But he said he's very good. I need someone he's good.
But D'Angelo Russell was already an all-star this year. Like all-stars aren't pretty good. All-stars are excellent.
They're all-starish.
I don't know, man. He's on the East Coast.
Is there someone else?
Not anymore. Now he's on the Warriors.
Well, now he is, but when he was an all-star, he was with the fucking Nets, bro. Come on.
Can we not argue about this as well?
Sorry.
Isn't there a basketball player called Randy Duck?
Who?
Did you watch the Longhorns, Rob?
Did you watch the Longhorns?
No, look, Gary, you put this in the chat, and it was you just spoke your foreign language in words instead of typing them.
They're doing a lot better than the Cowboys are doing right now.
Cowboys are getting whooped, right?
Yeah, it's 31-10.
90 seconds.
I just scored a touchdown to get a little more respectable. The other thing I want to talk to was this Charlie Edwards thing, right?
Yes.
I want to get to the Triple G fight, but it sucks that he's not fighting Martinez. I get that. But him going to 115, that division's already stacked. Him going up there makes it way better. That division is the best division of boxing now.
No.
60 seconds.
It's right there, man. It really is.
It's not, but it's
I
close.
down to Edwards because he lost his last fight. Let's be real, he lost. But Charlie Edwards is good, bro.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if he's going to beat the best guys at 115, but Charlie Edwards, he beat Christopher Rosales when people were talking about Rosales being the next king of the smaller weight classes. Edwards is good.
I agree completely. I don't think anyone's disputing that. Is he really good or very good? Or is he, excellent?
He's
really,
not Brandon
He's
Figueroa.
really very good and excellent.
Who's better?
Good.
Who's better, Edwards or Figueroa?
Oh, come on, stop. That's
Yeah, don't make him shit on his
again,
boy.
that's like asking who's better.
10 seconds.
Come on.
That's like asking who's, which kid you like the most.
Obviously, Figueroa's better.
Yeah, and every parent has an easy answer that they can't say out loud.
Why is Figueroa obviously better?
Have you seen him?
Yes.
There's nothing not to like about him. He throws 100 punches. When was the last time you saw a guy who throw 100 punches around who also has one-punch knockout?
Doesn't really have the greatest defense that we know of.
Or
it's
a world
hard to be a
title.
defensive wizard when you're throwing 100 punches, right? But his head movement is good. He doesn't stand in front of you like a target, like his brother. There's a lot of things he does really well besides just being a come forward volume puncher.
Will this be his Christopher Rosales? This next upcoming fight?
No.
Well, okay, so this guy he's fighting is the guy that he got knocked out by why can't I think of the Cuban
Rigo?
Rigondeaux, right? But Rigo. But he was doing well in that fight, right? I mean, most people had him up in that fight. So I would rather just see him fight Rigo, just fight Rigo enough with the middleman. But this is not a bum. This is not like the last guy. Well, this is a pretty good fighter, is it not?
No, this is a good fight. No, I said it. I don't know if you're listening, but I definitely said this is a good fight, especially comparative to the last one.
Yeah,
but it just does nothing for him in a way. It's a good fight, but one that doesn't improve his standing, doesn't improve his reputation or his brand. And until he fights a Rigo, a Roman, a Ray Vargas, a Manuel Navarrete, he's not going to get that. Or he just moves up to 126 and just says, fuck this division, and fights the better names for more money.
That's likely going to happen by either choice or necessity, because I don't know how much longer he can make 122. But that's what I'm saying. Why just have him fight Rigo? Why have him fight the guy that Rigo just fought?
In a perfect world. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Gary. But in a perfect world, he fights Rigo next, and then he fights Gary Russell Jr. at 126 after. That's what he should do.
That's aggressive. That's aggressive fighting Gary Russell. But I guess why not, right?
Yeah,
I'd rather have him go another route, get a belt off of Vargas, because I think Vargas is the weak link. Gary Russell might be the best fighter in that weight class. He just never fights. Gary Russell's really good.
Yeah, but we saw what Joseph Diaz was able to do with pressure and volume. I think Joseph Diaz isn't a good pressure fighter. And that's the scary part.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Figueroa is a good pressure fighter. That's the difference. I'm actually in favor of Figueroa here, and you're being like, no, let's not do that. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was really good. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
You're right. I mean, I agree. Let's throw him. Let's throw him in there. And Charlie Edwards, how about this for his next fight at 115? Josh Franco.
I don't mind that. It doesn't get me hyped, but definitely a good fight.
So I got a card for May 4th. Assuming that Tanajara versus Haney doesn't happen in L.A. On May 4th, you have Canelo versus Triple G, 3. Then you have, in the co-main, Haney versus Tanajara. And in the other bout, you have Edwards versus Josh Franklin. So you have a Golden Boy, Matchroom, grudge match.
Too bad Tanajara's going to get knocked out in November.
Okay, if that doesn't happen. If you think that's stuff, I would see why Oscar wants to make that fight, right? Because he needs a star, and if you beat Haney on that card, you're a star. So I totally get why Oscar would want that. Why would
people
Eddie
won't
make
even
that
know
fight?
it happens.
Why wouldn't Eddie make that fight?
Because you could lose. And he lost to a guy no one's ever heard of, outside of hardcore, outside of me, doing Ron, who the hell knows who that kind of horror is?
Look, here's the reality of that division. Outside of Lomachenko, everyone's not known outside of hardcore, so that doesn't matter.
Well, you got Teofimo Lopez.
He's not known outside of hardcores.
All right, maybe.
And I'll say this.
He might be the guy that does the fight.
No, here's the thing. Teofimo Lopez is a guy that's known by combat sports fans. So that's a wider audience than just hardcore boxing fans. It's hardcore combat sports fans. So you get like MMA fans that are crossover. They know who Teofimo Lopez is, and they like him, and they talk about him all the time. You actually will hear like MMA shows talk about Teofimo Lopez when he fights. Okay? But you're not going to...
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you don't see him get the same push outside of combat sports media. You don't see him in sports media like you do some other guys. So I wouldn't say Teofimo Lopez is known that way. Not at all. Loma's the only guy that's known in that division. Maybe Robert Easter, but I think that's a stretch, to be honest. A significant stretch. So what were you about to ask me, Gary?
Question about Tanajara. Do you think Name Redacted and the co-host on the Name Redacted show know who Hector Tanajara is?
No.
Do they know who Teofimo Lopez is? Of course they do, right?
Yeah.
That's my point, right? Like, Tanajara is a prospect, and I shouldn't even use the word hardcore, only to boxing junkies. Junkies is a better word, right? Like, the people who know Tanajara are the people with no life who watch boxing all the time.
Yeah, but like I said, I think a lot of guys in this division are like that, to be honest. Like the guys that aren't like that are like Anthony Corolla, because he has a UK following and he's done quite well as a draw in the UK, but he's not a US
Luke Campbell
draw in any way. Luke Campbell isn't. No, like Anthony Corolla is a far bigger draw in the UK than Luke Campbell. Rob is agreeing with me. Thank you. I felt like that wasn't controversial, but that's. Well, think about it. Anthony Corolla sold out stadiums. Not stadiums, I should say, but he sold out like arenas.
Manchester Arena back to back.
No. You don't get it. Like Luke Campbell has never sold out a 25,000 seater multiple times in a row. Corolla.
No, that's for sure.
Him and Lomachenko sold out the O2, but
that's it.
That was Lomachenko. A lot of it coming here.
Loma. Who was the A side? Who was the ticket seller in that fight?
Absolutely, yes. Corolla's a gigantic draw in the UK. Gigantic being used relative to this division. But outside of like a Robert Easter in certain regional markets in like the Northeast and like the Midwest, who else is in the division? Like that would be a draw. Like Pedraza maybe in like the tri-state area, but like that's it. Like the division doesn't have names that people outside of boxing junkies or boxing heads know.
Gervonta Davis in Baltimore.
Ooh, that's true. Gervonta's moving up. He might be the second biggest name of that division. Easy.
He is for sure.
Yeah. So if you're not fighting, so just to add Gervonta to the mix, just to add some more people. If you're not fighting Loma or Gervonta, it's a risk fight. It's a risk fighting anybody because they're not known. That's not going to be big money. And if you're Devin Haney, who has some cachet with the pop culture community and just the sporting community already with the Mayweather connections and his connections with people like Black China in the hip-hop world, he is in a low reward, high-risk equation with everyone besides Gervonta and Loma. So who cares? Like, I want to see him fight good guys. And Tanajara, while I do give him a lot of shit, he is clearly above the divisional average, probably. So why not? And plus, it will make you shut up about him. So I'm all in favor of it. Yes, let's go.
Joe Cordino in Wales.
Oh, but quite the opposite. I wanted to see him fight, what's his name? The guy that dropped Lomachenko. I can't think of anyone's name today.
Linares.
The Colombian fighter.
Linares.
I wanted to see Tanajara fight Linares next. But this is better. Let's do this. Absolutely. I wanted to get into this Triple G and the rest of his contract. Because I'm thinking this through, and there's just no way to make this work, right? Because I was thinking, okay, next they have him fight Munguia. You get a win. He probably knocks out Munguia in spectacular fashion. Then have him fight Charlo. Maybe he can beat Charlo. Then he has to take a mandatory with the IBF at some point, right? And then you get to Canelo, and that's the rest of your 4-fight contract. But that's 2 years out. Like, he'll be 39 at that point. You know Canelo, who would just be 30 at that time, would do to a 39-year-old Triple G? I don't even know if you could sell that at that point. And that's assuming he wins all those other fights, which he could lose. I just don't see how, like, this is not a disaster for DAZN and Matchroom. Like, they're going to lose so much money on this. They're paying him $15 million a fight, and he can't beat any of the top middleweights.
I agree.
I mean, can you come up with a 4-fight plan that doesn't look awful? That was the best one I could come up with for Triple G, and that's not good. Like, is there a plan? Do you guys have a roadmap or a blueprint where you said, okay, this is how we make the best of this scenario?
Sorry, can you ask the question again? And I was typing.
You have like a 4-fight plan for Triple G, like that doesn't suck, right? Like this is realistically the next 4 fights for Triple G, like one that doesn't include him getting knocked out in the first 2 fights.
Maeda in Japan.
Yeah.
That has to be one of them. I don't know the exact order. Canelo has to be one of them, and he's going to lose, but it's the money, so who cares? And it's a Canelo fight. Billy Joe Saunders, because you don't get knocked out, potentially, and you need another tune-up style fight like Maeda, so maybe, I don't know. God, who'd be a good name in that middleweight division? I'm trying to think of like guys outside the top 10. Maybe like a Jason Quigley, something like that. What's his name? The golden boy guy.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. You could do that at the Garden,
something
right?
like that.
With Quigley, that could work. But I mean, like, this is not. There's a lot of money they're going to lose here because I mean, he can't beat anybody. Like he's 37, and they got 4 more fights with him, which pushes him out to he's 39. It's a bad situation for Golden Boy, for Matchroom and DAZN. There's a lot of money for a guy I just don't think has much drawing power left. And he won't have any after he gets knocked out. But, like, after he gets knocked out by Canelo, do you agree with me that if they fought next, Canelo would stop him?
Yeah.
Okay, so after Canelo stops him, how much of a, I mean, he's still a star, he's still a name, but, like, $15 million worth to watch him fight Maroda or Quigley?
Look, you're not making money back. If the question is how do you make your money back on him in 4 fights, you don't. You just don't. Like, maybe the Canelo fight works out and you get like a gigantic bump from that, but probably not even then are you going to make your money back because you're paying him for another 3 fights or 2 fights.
You pay him a lot of money.
You know, that's what, 45, that's what, $60 million for the next sort of 4 fights of his career. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's a couple of years late. And I want to, right, because if you're like me, Triple G's fought 4, well, I don't even want to say, his last 4 fights, and throw away the Martin fight, right? So the last 4 fights, Jacobs, the 2 against Canelo, and Derevyanchenko. I think he's 0-4. I know he's 1-1 with 2-1-1, but like on my scorecard, I don't have him in a single one of those fights. He's lost every one.
It's quite possible.
Like, you call him an you called him an all-time great before, but it's like, what's his best win? It's Danny Jacobs, and I thought most people, or half the people, think he lost.
I don't think half.
That's really it. And they got ones up. You don't think so?
No, I think most people think he won.
It was a... All right. Again, that's a fight that could go either way. I had it 114, 113 Jacob. It could easily go the other way. You know what fight couldn't go the other way, Rob? Is the Derevyanchenko fight. That fight you cannot score for Triple G if you're being realistic. There's just there's not that many close rounds. I feel the fight was pretty easy to score. Right?
Okay, it's quarter past midnight, Gary. I'm not really that bothered.
What was that?
Rob's too tired to argue with you right now. That's what he's saying.
It's quarter past midnight now, Gary. You know how I feel about the fight. I know how you feel about the fight.
I don't know if you're trolling though, right? Because like, how did you score? What rounds did you score for?
He doesn't have a scorecard.
Like, you don't. Okay.
I was sending you until a point.
I don't see the rounds you can flip. Like, I just don't see them. If you gave every close round to Triple G, it's 114, 113 Derevyanchenko.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
If you don't think those rounds are close, Gary,
all right, Gary,
I can't help you. I can't help you.
These are the rounds you can give Triple G. Okay, obviously you have the first and second round are clear rounds you can give to Triple G. The 12th and the 11th could be clear rounds you give Triple G. I know you gave Derevyanchenko the 12th, but you have to admit that you can give him the 12th in terms of Triple G.
I said that's the only close round I gave to
the 9th round could easily be a Triple G round as well. That was a back and forth round. Round 6 and 7 were also very close. So there are rounds. So those are the rounds that if you want to go back and look at again and really dissect, those are the rounds I recommend, because to me those are the rounds that I in particular had issue scoring.
The 12th is fine. Okay, I'm going to throw it out. I'm going to give Triple G the 12th. You're saying then the 6th, the 7th, and the 9th.
Yes, those would be the others I look at. Yeah. And again, you know my scorecard. I scored it for Derevyanchenko. But playing devil's advocate, there are rounds that you can give Triple G to give him the decision. You just have to give him the benefit of the doubt and everything.
After the 5th round, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, they all look the same. They all look like the same rounds to me.
No, the 6th and the 7th were far closer rounds than the 5th and the 4th round, or even let's say rounds 8 and 10. You know, there's differences. They're minute, but there are differences. Triple G was far more efficient in those other rounds than again, rounds 10, for example, which was a definite Derevyanchenko round. Round 5, which was a definite Derevyanchenko round. You know?
I'll go back and watch it. I'm just, I don't think it was a difficult fight to score. I know
Gary, you just said you went, all right, I'll give Triple G the 12th then, but you gave Derevyanchenko the 12th
and
round.
Now I've given him every close round, and that's my point. I've given him every close round.
But
no. Round out of 12, it's difficult to score.
No, but you gave watching it. You gave it to Derevyanchenko, and your reasoning was work rate, ring generalship, and effective aggression.
But Gary, again, you keep saying that if you give every close round to Triple G doesn't win. That's not true. I just mentioned enough rounds that are close where if you give him a Triple G, he wins.
And by some margin.
I'm going to go back.
The fact that he's got a knockdown in the first, already given in the second.
Yeah, I might not pick Triple G to win those rounds, but to say that there's no argument there, I just don't buy it.
That's why. If you can make a reasonable argument that the other guy won the round, we can, reasonable people can disagree on it, right? But I'll go back for a third time and watch the 6th, the 7th, and the 9th, you said?
Yes, the 9th in particular, I think you could give it to Triple G. That really shouldn't be up for discussion or argument. I gave it 10-10, for example. I was like, I don't know. Here's 10-10 round. Have fun.
I can't do 10-10s. Someone's got to win.
If it's a war and no one gets knocked down and they just go back and forth, it's so hard to judge a round like that, to be honest. You know what I mean?
It was a war.
No, within 3 minutes,
someone did get knocked down.
if these two guys are just going back and forth with combinations, and no one clearly is throwing more shots or landing more shots, you know what I mean? Then how can you? It's hard to score because if they're just going tit for tat and there's no clear damage indicator, not just who's swelling up more, but who's getting hurt more, who's wobbling more. If there's nothing like that showing whose shots are affecting the others more and they're equal in terms of volume or connection rate or connection amount, it's hard to score rounds. And the 9th round was like that. Like that was a back and forth round.
I like the 10-10 round. I mean, it's basically been done away with. But like you go back to your grandfather's time, it was used all the time. Like if Wilder Fury would have been 50, 60 years ago, the first 3 rounds for sure are all 10-10 rounds, right? Like it was, unless there was a clear winner, the judges scored a 10-10. And now it's like we've gone away from it. Like I think there's, like if there's a round where each guy lands 2 jabs and nothing else, like a first round, a feeling that round when nothing happens, you have to pick a winner of that round. But like every single round in Shane Mosley versus Sergio Moore could be scored 10-10. Right? But you got to pick a winner.
No, you don't.
I think we should go. I mean, you don't, right? No, I agree. You don't, but like, it's become like now that you have to, right? Like the commissioner in Texas told me they better not hand in a 10-10 round. But like, why is that? Like, if it's an even round, score it even. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because draws are bad for business. That's why people don't like draws. They don't like.
Stop doing 12-round fights then.
13, right?
Gary, any wrap-up thoughts, man? We got to go. Sorry, man. Don't worry about it. You're going to be co-hosting soon.
That's it.
Thank you for the call, Gary. Always appreciate it. Guys, sorry for the technical difficulties and kind of the bad video quality on today's show. I'm going to try to work on that. It's really frustrating lately since YouTube has been changing up their system on the back end. But digressing, guys, find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe. 35% of you guys listening right now are not subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. And then those that are subscribed, that notification bell, hit it, please. Okay, it will make this channel get farther and get bigger if you guys just do those 2 simple things. Really easy.
Yeah, you don't want to miss Gary's debut.
You don't, because I think Rob's gonna pull out whatever little hair he has left on that show. You don't want to miss that one for sure.
I want to miss Gary's debut.
Think about Gary, you're unfortunate here because you get Rob at the tail end of the show where he kind of can. Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to argue. But wait till you get him in the morning, or not in the morning, I should say, the beginning of the show. And
when it's only 10 p.m. and I've done a full day's work. Yeah.
Yes, and he just gets pissed off at you all the time. It's great. So much fun. Rob, let people know where to find you.
In bed in a minute. Wait.
No, we don't want to find you in bed. That would be
a treat. UK Rob, MCR, Instagram and Twitter. Like Matt said, notification bell, subscribe if you haven't. I'm sure Matt's going to get straight on and put this on the iTunes feed and things like that for the podcast listeners. Yeah, good main event. I'm glad it went without a hitch and there's no controversy whatsoever and there's nothing to debate. Nah, that's not how we do things, obviously. We have to have this arguments and fanboys and all that going on, but it's all fun and games. But yeah, I'm sure Matt will be hyped with some news tomorrow regarding the UK press conference for KSI Logan Paul.
All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.
Peace.